Alright, welcome back guys. In today's video I'm going to be showing you all how to draw hair in the easiest ways ever. Don't forget to leave a like in this video if you enjoy it or if it's helpful for you in any way, and I'll do well to make more tutorials probably on different forms of braids. You think you suck at drawing hair? Don't cry, this will change your whole hair game. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, click on the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Let's go! Firstly, I'm going to select my technical pen and make sure streamlining is set up to 50% before I start out my outlining. Alright, so I'm going to reduce the size of my pen to somewhere around 40 and I'm going to test it out, and this looks great. So I'm going to use this for the outline. So you might be wondering why I made that small line outside the outline. This is because it's hair we're drawing, so I'm just trying to make out little hair strands of the hair. I'm not going to draw out these sketches of hair like this looking so rough like that. I'm going to try to simplify this hair pattern. Alright, this might be a little bit tricky. The goal here is actually to keep our lines connected and to prevent drawing excessive hair strings going on the hair. So from this point, you can notice I'm not really drawing every string of the hair. I'm not drawing to be exact. I'm just drawing curvy lines and trying to make out shapes of hair to represent these much hairlines going on here. And I didn't do this here because that would be funny. So I'm just going to try and make a smooth line. Like I'm just making smooth lines out here and making them look more like hair. That's all. Always check out what you're doing. If you feel your art's good, you can proceed. If you feel it's not good enough, you can go back and make some corrections. For this part of the hair, we can see this part is going underneath the other part. The other part is kind of overlapping this section here. So how I'm going to draw this is, first going to start with drawing the overlapping part first. I'm going to draw the overlapping part, then connect the part underneath later. Now let's just draw the other parts of the outline, just like we did for the first part. Alright, so here's another section of the hair we are going to be wondering, how are you supposed to connect this? So I'm not going to do this sketch like this, rather I'm not still going to make a big selection like this either. So I'm just using smaller lines and trying to connect this to make it look as realistic as hair as possible. I don't want to make a big ass kind of line there. I'm just making smaller lines to represent the hair. Alright, so about to do the hair pattern. So you can actually draw your hair pattern with a small size brush like this, and it's going to look great actually. Or you can do little sketches of hair on both sides of the hair pattern. Alright, so now I'm just going to do some sketches of hair on the hair using a small size brush. So I'm not sketching out every single line of the hair, because we're going to be doing that while we're painting this and shading it. So I'm just drawing out the major hair curves and adding in details to this. You must be wondering, how do you know your major hair curves? Well, these are just the most obvious lines you can see on the hair, and probably past that signify the structure of the hair. So I might just do the mannequin real quick. So it's about time we do the painting. Before we do that, we're going to go into our outline layer and select this using the automatic, and we're going to tap on the background of the picture and slide down our threshold. because when you actually tap on your background of a picture, it might actually fill up into the whole outline itself. So what we want to do is we want to reduce our threshold so it selects where we want it to select. So this actually filled up into the background because of the tiny spaces which are actually not completely covered in the outline. So you can slide your threshold down and reduce your selection. So now we can go with this. So tap on freehand, then invert this, then we can head right into our painting. Alright, so we're gonna make a new layer right under the outline and try and make a skin color for her. So next up, I'm gonna add up a reference so we can easily select our hair color and easily see our shading. Alright, so I'm gonna go into my layers and create a new layer especially for the hair. So if I should turn on my reference and go back to my hair layer to fill this whole selection, to fill up the hair, it's gonna make a mess because just watch this out. Because of this space on that top that I didn't cover up completely. So that's why I'm gonna be filling this out manually. So notice I gave a gap in between the hair pattern here. So I'm just gonna start making out sketches around both sides of the hair. Next, I'm going to slide down my opacity and make more sketches on both sides of the hair. This time around, dragging it closer to the hair pattern like I'm about to cover it up, but I'm not. Alright, so now I'm done with the flat colors. So I'm going to create a new layer right above the flat color layer, and I can actually select my flat hair color and make it darker with my opacity down and start making out the sketches on the hair to represent the shadows. Or I can turn my layer into a multiply, use the multiply effect and use the same hair color and just simply sketch out the whole hair with my reduced opacity, and that also works. But first we're going to select our flat hair color layer first, just so whatever drawing we do on the hair layer won't go outside it. So from this point, I'm just going to sketch out my dark shades looking at my reference. So I'm just drawing continuous lines on the parts where I see dark shades going on my reference. So you can see these selections right here are areas on the reference with dark shades. So we are going to sketch out these whole places using the multiply layer on the dark shade. This whole selection here, these red parts are parts of the hair with dark shades. So I'm not showing you guys this so you know where I'm shading on. So the dark shades doesn't really bring our hair to life, but the highlights would. So I'm creating a new layer right now above the previous layer and selecting my previous base color and making it lighter this time around. So I'm just gonna make zigzag shades on the parts where I want very bright light source there. So I'm taking my opacity down. I'm changing my color. I didn't like the previous one, so I'm using my size also to do this. I'm just going to make zigzag shades to represent very bright source of light. This is one thing about my hair. I always add this bright source of light on the hair. So after doing this shade, I will also start making the usual single strings of hair going on. Single strings of light hair, like highlights of hair going on there. So you notice I'm reducing my opacity depending on how bright I want a particular highlight to be. So you notice now I'm just doing the single strings of hair and also doing the zigzag shade on areas of the hair where I can see highlights going on sideways. So just doing single strings continuously and zigzag shades on the parts where I see an horizontal kind of light source there. So I'm going to take up my opacity to do the rim lights, just little shades of rim lights on the hair. Alright, so we're done with this, and this looks outstanding. So we're going to head right into the next one, which is going to be more of a curly version of this hair. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.